Pardon?
I text Patty, hey, who's the host? It's Cassie.
It's Cassie. Okay.
All right, I asked her if she could ask Cassie. I don't have Cassie's info.
I do.
Okay. How's everybody doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Awesome.
I'm
Fantastic.
excited to
thank
hear
you.
about this new listing agreement.
Yes. What's up, Steve?
What up, bud?
Well, Sarah, I love your hair.
You do?
Yeah, it looks very ombre.
Well,
That's what I was going for, actually.
It's a little too ombre at the moment, but you know, since I can't get into the salon, it's doing what it's doing. And I just haven't quite reached the point of buying a color kit at the grocery store. So
I was talking to my hairdresser and I said, man, how many color corrections are you going to be doing in the next
right. A lot.
And she said they ain't cheap.
No,
I
they
know.
are not. I have learned that the hard way a few times.
How's my hair, Julie?
Wow, look at you. Really impressive.
Thanks.
You
Hair
all look very,
restoration has taken well with you, Greg. It has.
Hey, Steven.
you all look very pretty today. You're all cute.
Thank you. No burpees for me, Steven.
My goodness, me either. Not today.
Dear God.
Dear God, make me a
the boss.
bird.
Make me a bird so I can fly far. No, the boss is actually, she's a whipped puppy today. She's taking a nap, which gives everyone the day off. It's great.
Is that how that works?
That's how it works for me today.
Candy, do you have access yet? Are you the boss?
I am, they named me co-host, but I still don't see as the host. I should see the rooms and I don't see the rooms.
Well, you know what? If we can't do it like that, we'll do the best we can. How's that?
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave the meeting and then I'm gonna come back in and see if I'm still where I am.
Thank you, Amanda, for laughing.
I like to give a little support when I can.
Thank you. And you're not on mute, which means I could receive that support.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you can't hear people. And so all you see is like, and you're like, oh, they're laughing. Yay. So, hey, everybody, first off, thanks for coming. We're having a little bit of a technical part. We are working on making Candy the host because we want to go into breakout rooms today. Has anybody here been in a breakout room before?
No.
Nope.
No.
It's really neat. I wish I could see everybody. Is there a reason that so many of you don't have your face showing?
It's Monday.
A lot of them don't have a shirt on.
Well, go put one on.
I don't care if you don't have a shirt on. I just want to see your faces.
Have you seen him without a shirt before?
Yeah, I don't know about this, Julie.
So before I agree with you, I want to make sure it's.
Well, I mean, while we're figuring this all out, it's tough when I can't see you guys because I don't know if what's happening is making any sense or if it's hitting or if you care. See, when you're in a classroom, feedback is easy, right? Because you can tell if someone's engaged or not. When someone has their camera turned off, you can't really tell.
True.
What's going on. So, Candy, I got made the co-host. Are you the host now? You're muted.
Oh,
go ahead, Candy.
You are now a co-host?
And you're the host?
No, I'm still not the host.
Maybe Lisa can make. Lisa, do you have the power?
No, I am texting with Cassie. Okay, so at this point, folks, I'm going to continue texting with Cassie, and I'm going to let Julie start with what you can share your screen, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to let you go ahead and start with that part while I text with Cassie on the other part.
All right, awesome. So here's the goal from today. We
Don't worry, everybody.
decided, hey, Sarah,
I know, you
that's
got
the,
a lot of me there.
that's the danger when your camera's turned on, girlfriend. Okay, so honestly, guys, I cannot tell you how many people's boobs I've seen. Not uncovered, but like there's a lot of this going on because y'all just phones drop. I'll tell you what, I've been teaching CE at the association via Zoom, and so I got to give out awards. I call it the Zoom Awards. So it'll be like, I can't say best boob shot because that would be inappropriate, but like, man, Adam, you look like you traveled far to get here. You're sitting in a beautiful, right? And then I would say maybe Chris, you win the best. Oh, you just turned your camera on. So we were doing best feeling award, you know, best view from the Golden Gate Bridge award. It's been fun. So at any rate, while Candy's working on that, the goal here today is to give everybody some functional practice at doing a listing presentation via Zoom. Okay, so Eric did his, my loving husband, he did his buyer consultation, and the feedback was, oh, I thought that we were gonna learn how to use Zoom.
Oh.
Candy? And so I want you guys to know I'm not gonna teach you a listing presentation. I mean, I have one that I'm happy to go over. You'll learn it a little bit because I'll do it. But my goal here is I'm not going to teach you guys how to go take a listing. What I'm going to do is teach you the flow of a listing while via Zoom. Cool?
Cool.
And the goal will be that you each get to share your screen. You get to feel that out. You'll get to see how it looks from both sides as soon as Candy can do the breakout room. So what we'll do is we'll talk conceptual first. I'll show you my stuff, and then we'll break into the breakout room. So Candy, we'll probably do a couple breakout rooms. When you set it up once, can it stay that way? Like those people are always together?
I'm not sure that they will always be together, only because I haven't done it more than once. But I do now have the capability to break out into the rooms, and I don't want any of you to run away. And what that's going to mean for all of you who are muted and without a face on this, you're going to have to get a face because you're going to have to work in small groups.
So Barry Cole just said he doesn't have a mic or a camera. This is a class on how to use Zoom to do a listing presentation. So if you're going to use Zoom, you've got to have a camera and you've got to have a mic. Otherwise, it's just a phone consultation. Cool. So maybe Candy, make a note that Barry, I love you. You're just not going to be a good partner for somebody in this particular instance.
Actually, here's what I'm planning to do. I am planning to break you out when the time comes. I'm planning to break you out into 3 people per room. Okay, the reason for 3 people per room is that one person can be the listing agent, one person can be the seller, and one person can be the observer. And the listing agent is going to share their screen with a document or something. The seller is going to be able to see it on there, and the observer will also be able to see that and talk through that one document.
Perfect.
And then we will bring you back into the big group and you can talk again.
Okay, awesome. So Candy, how much time do you need to go over the new contract?
I was not going to spend a lot of time with the new contract. I was going to go over the parts that changed.
Okay, so we'll do that at the end. Is that okay?
Absolutely, and that's exactly when I plan to do it.
Perfect. So I don't know if you guys know, a new contract came out and it came in like a ghost. They didn't tell us it was happening. They didn't make an announcement about the changes. Candy, you didn't get a notice either, right?
I did not.
Yeah,
my first notice was from you.
So also word on the street, guys, is a new purchase agreement will be coming out. They accidentally released it last week. And if you happen to be one of the few people writing an offer at that time, you got the new contract. but it's already been pulled back. So just things to be aware of. It's not that your brokerage or your broker isn't on top of it. They literally, they're not making announcements right now. So, all right. So here's a couple of I take some notes. I don't have a slideshow that I'm going to share with you. But if you want to make this effective, you'll write some things down. So I want you to imagine that you're just doing a regular listing presentation, right? And there are certain things that you do in your normal listing presentation that you're still going to do via Zoom, right? So you're still going to have to pull comps. You're still going to go over your consult. You're still going to talk about your value add. You're still going to talk about the net, right? We're going to do all of those things. So your process doesn't change necessarily, only the delivery in which you provide the information. So on our team, we do what's called a two-step process, which means we actually set the appointment and then we mail via Federal Express, right, FedEx, what's called a pre-listing package. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys to death with what the pre-listing package looks like. However, on kw.com, if you log in and you go to design on command, there's all kinds of pre-listing packages there you can modify and edit to make your own. They've done a good job for you guys. All you have to literally do is put in the right logo, put your name in, put your phone number in, and you're compliant. I like to send out the pre-listing package because by the time I get there, the seller has looked it over. Now, right now we're emailing pre-listing packages because I'm not paying for FedEx and everything's at the office, which has been closed for 6 weeks, right? So I am literally just emailing these packages. And by the way, I'll probably just do that forever from now on. That's the beautiful thing about what's happening is things are changing and some of it for the better. So we mail out our pre-listing package and a couple of the things that are on there. Thank you, honey. Guys, he doesn't need much attention. Did you see him? So we send out the pre-listing package. What's in there? It's pretty simple. It's who we are, what we do, kind of marketing we offer, the process that you go through when you go through it with us, some client testimonials, right? Who's on our team. And that's basically what they get. I send that out to people, guys, because the last thing that people really want to talk about is you at your listing appointment. Right, Nate? You don't want to show up to an appointment. The seller doesn't want to hear how great Nate is over and over again.
How much can you sell my house for? What are you going to charge?
What? You're kidding me. Yeah, there's really only a couple things that they care about. So we got the appointment. We sent the pre-listing package out. That's going to do all of the fluffing for us. When I get off Zoom, which do you guys want me to touch on how we set up the Zoom? Does that matter? I'll just tell you how
it matters because I think some of them don't even have a Zoom account.
Okay, so get a Zoom account. There's the free version. However, that won't do you right for too long. We have the $14.99 a month version. It allows for recordings, longer meetings. You can change your background. And I know most of my listing appointments right now are lasting a little longer than 40 minutes. And that's on the free version. That's the longest you can host is 40 minutes. So get the $14.99 version. Yes, Candy.
Yes. Only 40 minutes if you have 3 or more people, which is probable for most sellers. But just so you know, it's with 3 or more people, you have the 40 minutes.
Cool. I didn't know that. I just knew I ran out of time. And so I said, buy it. Yeah. And so we did. All right. So what we do is once the appointment is set, we set up the Zoom appointment, and we actually have a really nice long email that we send to the client that says, congratulations, you're going to be meeting with Steve to go over the listing consultation. Here's the link for Zoom. And then Alyssa did this. She went on and she found videos on how to set up your mic, how to make sure your camera's working. And she wrote this really nice email. I just copy and paste it. And it basically just says, hey, if you have any questions, I'm going to hop on about 10 minutes early as the agent, and I'm just going to make sure that everything is running. Give me a call if you have any questions. Because we want people to show up, right? That's kind of the goal. Yeah,
Hey,
Julie, woohoo!
Hey, Julie, this is Ashley, or this might be a Candy question. Obviously, we're going to request to do the Zoom consultation, but let's say they don't want to do it over Zoom. Is there a policy around, will we do in-person ones, obviously with safe distance and things like that, or is that against kind of Governor Sisolak's and Nevada realtors?
Okay, well, the governor absolutely has more power than I do, just so you know. And so it's a matter of, you have to stay 6 feet away from everybody, everywhere, all the time. That's what you're supposed to do. And so if you need to do it in person, you do it in person across the room.
Okay, great. That's my question. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Ashley, I've done a listing consultation since quarantine. I wore a mask and stayed away from them, and they had to use their own pen, and I was just like, hey, my broker and the governor, this is the way we have to do it.
Yeah, blame it on the governor, please.
Uh-huh.
Not me.
Well, the tough part about the tough thing about right now is that there are literally agents that don't care about what the governor said, and they're out there doing things they shouldn't be doing, which makes people that are willing to do it the right way less attractive to sellers who might be overly motivated right now. So I'm not polarizing people, because you guys have probably noticed this is a pretty polarizing issue. You either think we need to open and everybody's already been infected, or you think we need to stay closed, which means that you just don't care about anybody, apparently. So I work on not getting towards that. I just say, hey, we're practicing social distancing. The governor has deemed that we are essential. There are certain people we can't bother, like tenants. So if I'm meeting with a seller who's got a tenant, we can't show the property, but here's what we can do, nothing. And if it's a seller, I find out what their comfort level is, really. Are you okay with people coming into the home? And when people come into the home, my expectation is that you've opened the doors, all the lights are on, open all the closets, make it so they don't have to touch anything, because we really want them to come in. They should be wearing masks, maybe gloves, and we really want them to come in and be able to view your property without touching anything. So it's really been about getting the sellers on board, but also actually making sure they're comfortable. Some people just aren't comfortable. Eric showed a property earlier this week, and again, showed up with the mask, and our buyer had a mask, and we approached the property, and the seller and Eric were talking, and he said, thank you so much for wearing a mask. Oh my gosh, thank you for being so professional. You wouldn't believe the people that have been coming through the house. Like, agents were just jerks, not wearing their masks, not wearing gloves, not giving a crap. So I don't know, I just think that if you are safe, that you'll always end up in a better spot. So, and clearly this is the safest way to do a listing consultation. All right, so we send the pre-listing package. When I get on the Zoom call with them, a couple of things I do before I get on the call is I have a list of the things that I need to have open in my background in order to easily access them. Okay, so things that I know I need a copy of my listing agreement. Okay, I actually have a PDF, one big PDF of all of the listing paperwork, from the duties owed all the way down to the residential disclosure guide, all in one big PDF. So I'm not clicking to a bunch of different ones. I can just scroll if I'm going to go through the paperwork. I have it available. I also have, I'm going to use the whiteboard on my listing consultation. I'll show you guys how to do that. I also have the MLS pulled up in the background. So you guys will see, everybody here can do it right now. Don't share your screen, but if everybody clicked on share at the bottom where it's green with the up arrow, if you
Just
click
know
on
where
share,
it is. Don't click on it.
well, no, they can click on it. They're just not going to share. If everybody
Okay.
clicks on it, go ahead and click on it. And what you all should see is desktop is an option. Whiteboard is an option. Nod your heads if you're seeing that, so I can kind of get an idea. iPhone, iPad via AirPlay, I've never used that. iPhone via cable, never used that, but maybe because I'm on a Mac. I've got my Chrome open with the MLS open. I've got my listing package open, and I happen to have my calendar open. So I'm going to X out of that top left. I'm not going to share my screen, but did you guys get to see that? Whatever you have open is what you can easily access. If you have nothing open, what you'll end up doing is sharing your desktop, which means the client now will get to see everything that you zoom around on. So if you go to your desktop and then you click my Youngblood package, and then you have to scroll through 5 files, and then God forbid there's some weirdo picture of my husband that shouldn't be there, right? Like, you just want to minimize, they're going to be able to see everything that you can see. So that's why it's important Greg, to have the things that you're going to utilize pulled up. So you may want to create a little checklist for yourself like we did. Cool. So I'm going to have everybody right now go ahead and go to your browser and open up your MLS. Get the MLS screen, get logged in and get the MLS screen pulled up. You can be in the single
Minimize
sign-on.
this and then go ahead and do that.
So Candy, I think what we're going to do now is have everybody partner up, and then everybody's going to get a chance to share their MLS screen back and forth with their partner.
Okay.
So-
At this point, do we want them to go two to a room or three to a room?
We can go 3 to a room, whatever you think is best.
Okay.
By the way, this is virtually impossible on an iPhone. I've never done it on an iPad, but this will definitely work on your computer. This is the best way to do it is on your computer.
Can I pick my team?
No,
Ah,
Candy's doing
the
it right
computer,
now.
the computer will do it. I'm not even doing it. The computer will do it.
would
Oh, are
it
you
help
doing
if I
random?
said that Candy, I think that you're right up there with Governor Sisolak. I think that you guys are kind of neck and neck.
Thank you. That does not help me with this. The computer will still be doing this.
All right.
Okay, we want to go into the rooms.
Yeah, so everybody clear, we're going to share your screen. You're each going to take turns sharing your screen and picking the MLS screen. Cool?
Okay, everybody understand this?
Let's go.
Cool.
Okay. We are going, well, I am creating the rooms and we are going to have, how long do we want to have them have it?
Probably no more than 2 minutes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the counter for this at I'm going to set the counter on this to 2 minutes, and you will automatically come back in 2 minutes. So you guys need to get sharing quickly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Join your breakout rooms. Join your breakout rooms.
Hey, Candy.
Yeah, Pete, you need to join your breakout room.
So listen, I try to join the meeting via my computer, but when I try to go on, it said my URL, the link is corrupted. So I couldn't get on. I couldn't connect to this meeting via the computer. So I'm on my phone and I don't know how to do this from my phone.
Ah, okay.
Is it-
Okay. Oh, well, if you're on your phone, you also don't have your, do you have a document you can share with me?
Oh, from my phone? Yeah, I could try. Well, ask Candy. Do you have a meeting code or
ID and password.
ID and
No, it's
password?
not a code. It's you were in this thing and I don't know how it works when I did the breakout room. They're now starting to come back.
No, but I'm saying I wanted to get on my computer, this meeting through my computer.
There should not have needed to be a code on your
So-
computer. Which link did you click on your computer?
So Ismar sent a meeting and said for the 1 o'clock meeting, click this link. And so it would take me to the meeting. And when I hit it, it said URL or URL is corrupt. The link was corrupt. So I'm like, great, because I wanted to do this from my computer, not my phone. So I was wondering-
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I was wondering if there's a password or
For the Zoom, there should be a
So-
meeting ID and password to get into the Zoom meeting.
because this whole thing would be null and void for me because I can't use my computer. So Ismar sent a email this morning. And So can you see this right here? So I'm trying to, it says, click the listening presentation. It says something unexpected went wrong with the URL. The corrupt has been corrupt or unreliable. So it won't let me join from Ismar's link.
That happens from time to time with Zoom.
My wife's saying sometimes that happens from time to time with Zoom. Because yesterday I did a meeting via the same computer on another Zoom meeting with my
And it was fine.
my jiu-jitsu school, and it went through perfectly. For some reason, this link isn't letting me. So,
Just put in the code
oh
directly.
yeah,
Did you
Yeah.
send it?
there wasn't one. I didn't see a password or.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
see a
always in the like the meeting notes. You just have to look. It's 942.
Okay, hold on.
Well, you're
hold
in the
on.
meeting though. You're in.
I
the
know.
He's on his phone.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it wouldn't let me do it.
942.
Hold on 1 second. I need to get back to the
Or
Zoom.
I'll put it in the chat because you can read it on your phone.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey,
Hey, what's up, brother? How are you, man?
I heard Baby Yoda's coming out next week.
Yes, and I pre-ordered it already. It comes out in December.
I know, dude. We ran out of stuff to watch, man. We're like, dude, I wish Disney Plus had some freaking more Baby Yoda show, but you know,
I
wish in
know.
one hand.
Hey, how's your knee, brother?
Yeah, a lot better, man. I'm able to walk on it, thank God.
Yeah.
So still stretching and all kinds of fun stuff. A lot of PT, man. It kind of get me back where I was, but I'll be back to jiu-jitsu soon.
We'd love for you to come back, man.
Are you guys good? Everybody did it?
Yep.
Okay, did everybody get that? Not everybody got it, but some of us got that. Hey, you have to authorize Zoom to share your screen. Some of you guys got that? If
I
you
didn't
didn't
get
get that, if you
Can I hear-
didn't get it, you've already shared your screen before. But if you did get it, it's because you've never shared your screen. All right,
Okay, was
so that was
everybody able to share your screens?
Yes.
Yep.
Gail wasn't able to, but she was on an iPad.
We're on an iPad and we could.
Barry.
Could have if I kept trying, but I
Barry
didn't.
just shared his screen with all of us. Thank you, Barry.
Barry, alert, abort.
But I have done Zoom a number of times on my laptop with other calls, and I've had no trouble sharing my screen.
Okay, how do we get Barry to know? Oh, thank you.
I
Okay.
stopped him. So Candy, just so you
Good.
know, when someone tries to Zoom bomb you like that, you just go up and you hit the drop down and stop sharing their screen. The host can do that.
Oh,
I have a question for Julie.
Yeah.
Julie, you mentioned that when you have them sign the documents, you put it all into one document, so you don't have to keep opening up different documents?
I'll show you when I go over the documents.
Okay.
Okay.
So I wanted you guys to get kind of vibe out sharing your screen, right? Because you're going to be doing a lot of that. And in a listing presentation, you are going to be sharing more than one attribute of your screen. So you're going to share the MLS screen. By the way, when you guys shared that, if you just shared the MLS screen, that's all we could see. We couldn't see your background on your desktop. We couldn't see that weird bank statement that you've got sitting over here. Like, we couldn't see any of that. We could only see what you had shared.
Except for you, because you're the host, so you could see it all, right?
I couldn't see anything because I was stuck in a room with Steve.
Which is the best room to be stuck in, by the way.
While Tracy was there. So we all felt more human.
Hmm.
oh, the cupcakes.
Okay, guys, these are the jokes. People, bear with me. I'm on day 412 of quarantine. Okay, so
412.
So we like having that open. Now, I personally like to use the whiteboard for my listing consultation. So I'm going to show you the whiteboard. Some people have a real fancy presentation they go through, right? Does anybody here have one of those?
No.
Steve
Have a
does.
what?
A fancy presentation. My phone just started playing some rap song I've never heard of. K-Bands 412 single.
Shake your tail feather is what it is.
No. Did you do that, Danny C? Did you play? Danny C, your hair is getting long.
Danny, so you're looking real,
Dude,
real
Danny
out
C,
there right
he's
now.
getting that kid and play, dude.
Danny C's looking like he just left the beach.
It's natural.
Okay.
I don't even need to get a perm.
No, you don't. Okay, so where was I? Oh, so some of you use a listing presentation. You would want to have that pulled up so you could go through that and talk through that without boring the crap out of the consumer. You know what's neat about Zoom is they forget they're being recorded. And then you can see if they're actually really paying attention. Like earlier today, we were on our team meeting, and I know Zeke can hear me, but he was like this. I was talking about something dead serious, and he was like this. I'm like, Zeke, what are you laughing at? And he's like, oh, sorry. I'm like, dude, I know you're texting. So you're going to be able to tell if your people are engaged. Same thing as in person. You're going to want to ask lots of questions to determine if they're actually paying any attention to you. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to share the whiteboard. I think it's really a neat tool. Has anybody here done the whiteboard yet?
No.
No.
Danny T has, because he's tested it out. All right, I'm going to share it, and then you guys, we're going to break off into our groups. All right, you guys can see my whiteboard, right?
Yep.
So I do this fun thing called the CAPE method. Mr. Seller, there's really only 4 things that it takes to get a home sold in any market. Are you familiar with what those are? No, Julie, I'm not familiar. Cool. The first one is called,
Condition.
oh, I might actually type this out. It's called condition. Condition. By the way, you'll see when you get to play in there, you get to, it's condition, Mr. Seller. Now, when I talk about condition, what I'm referring to is how does the property show? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to go through that piece of the listing presentation. And then if you guys ever want to watch the video, just Google YouTube Julie Youngblood listing presentation. And there's like a 4-minute version of the CAPE method, C-A-P-E, CAPE method. But that's how I do my listing presentation. Normally at home, I would just do it on the back of the tax record, right? I draw a big square. G, Mr. Seller, are you familiar with what condition is? It's the way the property shows. When people pull up, what does the yard look like? Is the door clean? Are the bushes trimmed? When they open the door, is it clean? Does it smell good? Are the dishes put away? Did I say are the dishes trimmed? I meant the bushes trimmed. How does the backyard look, right? What does it feel like when people walk in here? Or are the beds a mess, dishes in the sink, there's dog poop on the floor? Mr. Seller, ultimately, who's in charge of making sure this house is in show home condition?
I am.
Who's that?
The seller.
That's right, you are, Seller. Awesome. Now let's talk about the next thing, right? And then I'll talk about the next thing, which is access, which is kind of a weird time to be talking about access, price, and then exposure. And then exposure leads into our listing consultation, what we do to get homes sold. But I'm not going to bore you guys to tears with that because you wanted to learn how to use Zoom. So here's what we're going to do.
Here's what I found.
Thank you, Siri. So we are going to go back into our groups. When you guys click on share, whiteboard is the second option. Here is the YouTube listing presentation. Thanks, Danny. He just put it in the chat box, the presentation for the CAPE method.
Techy.
Awesome. I love that. That's super helpful. Don't go watch it now. Okay, I'm still here. All right, so we're going to break off into our groups, and you guys are going to go share the whiteboard, okay? And you're going to play around. By the way, I do believe that on the whiteboard, 2 people can be interacting at once. So play around with it, test it out. This is your safe zone. Are you ready, Candy?
Yep, and we will give you the 1-minute warning when we are going to not be in the rooms anymore.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. We have 6 unassigned. We have 6 unassigned.
How do you get assigned, Candy? I'm on the
Well,
computer.
wait a
right now,
second.
by the way.
Let me figure out what I'm doing here.
Okay. Good news is I'm on the computer now, so that's good. Chris shared the Chris Forbes shared the ID.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
Whoops.
No, that is not it. Okay, we are getting you guys here. There we go. You're all assigned.
So we didn't have a whiteboard.
Yes, we did not. Sorry.
You're muted, Candy. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
When you clicked on share screen, you did not have an option for a whiteboard?
No,
No.
it just says desktop and application, and that's it. So do I need to download Whiteboard as a separate application, or?
I don't think so, because when you click share, tell me what you see.
Yeah, so I'll click share, and mine just says desktop and then application, and that's it.
Mine just took me straight to Nate's screen when I joined.
No, that's when you join. That's not that. We're talking at the bottom of the screen, Lovely. At the bottom of your screen, you have a whole bunch of icons down there,
Yeah.
and one of them is green. It says share screen.
Yeah, I have share content, and it just give me all my my own Google other screen stuff.
That's because you shared your desktop?
No, I did not.
You can't see whiteboard on there?
No, I did not. No, I cannot see it in there. No.
Nate does not see whiteboard on there either.
Nope. It's just desktop or application, and that's it. Do I need to download Whiteboard as a separate application?
I don't think so,
No.
because I haven't downloaded Squat.
Well, I'm on a Google Chromebook too, so that I have limited capabilities.
Let me see mine.
I did learn that if you're on a Chromebook or an iPad or a phone, that some of the things that are available on desktop or on a laptop it's different.
Okay.
So I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
That might very well be.
The best,
Okay.
if you want the full capabilities, get on your desktop.
Okay.
Or in my case, your laptop. That's the new desktop, right, Danny P?
Yeah.
This is an amazing presentation on YouTube from 5 years ago, by the way.
Hey, that sucker still works, baby.
6,000 views.
Hey,
Oh, that's nothing. I got one that's got like 30,000.
What?
I was watching that before Julie came to the office. And then when she came to the office, I'm like, hey, I know you. I've been watching your videos.
Is that the one from the Kate method, Danny?
Yeah. Condition, access, price, and exposure.
Yeah, that's
Julie, how much coffee did you have this morning?
Me?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Amanda. This is about as social as I'm going to get. So I am super jacked right now.
I'm very happy. It makes a boring Monday fun.
Thanks. I found that dancing on Zoom calls gets you good reviews in CE classes. So I just danced it out and hope everybody's internet froze at that moment. Okay, so what were your thoughts on the whiteboard?
Cool.
Awesome.
I like that.
Whose first time was it?
Fine.
Oh my gosh, you guys, the whiteboard is so cool. So
Except that I use my mouse on with my right hand, but I write with my left hand, so it makes it difficult.
okay, Chris, those are issues that
I have
we
the
might
same
have to
thing,
do.
Chris.
I was like, I don't do my handwriting is on this side.
Wow.
You can type.
So there's
You can type.
multiple weirdos at this office, is what you're
Yeah,
You just
So
called
here-
Candy a weirdo.
yeah.
100%.
I thought it was good that we
Well,
stumbled across that you could save whatever you draw on that whiteboard. So if you had, like Julie said, some sort of, specific conversation with the client and you needed to save what was done on that board, you can. The question is where does it get saved? So we just have to play with that.
It'll probably just download to your downloads.
Yeah.
Another question that Steve had was, what was it again?
I had a question.
Shock. It was really good. Well, I sure hope that comes
was-
back to me.
He was asking about all the buttons on the side. What else did he ask?
Yeah, thank you. Whoever just said that, thank you so much, Tracy, right? So Steve had said, hey, how do I practice this so that I'm not figuring out these buttons when I'm in front of a client? So here's what we've recommended that you do. You can go anybody can create a Zoom meeting, right? So go create your Zoom meeting, and then it gives you a link, okay? So go get on your iPhone and go to the link, set your iPhone on the side, and then go to your laptop and log in with the same link, and you'll be in a Zoom room with yourself. And then you can practice. You can practice sharing and all that kind of stuff. Gail, I know I see you talking, Gail, but I can't hear you. Still
You're
can't hear you.
unmuted.
Hold on. I unmuted you.
Okay, that's for our multiple personalities. I can talk to myself.
You can absolutely get to know yourself even more than you thought was ever possible via Zoom.
Sometimes you need a social distancing Zoom meeting for your personality.
I do, right now.
So that's one way to cheat it, or you could just partner up with somebody and say, hey, Amanda, you were at that class and you're just so learning based, and I would just love to mess up on you instead of my real life clients. When's a good time for us to mess up on each other? Is sometime today good, or would tomorrow be better? Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Right, Pete Rayner? Hey, I just want
Yes,
everybody
ma'am.
to do a super duper 2 thumbs up if you think Pete Rayner might have the best beard you've ever seen.
What?
Oh.
That beard. It's
I'm
like
gonna shave it.
curly.
Hey, I
Are
told
you
myself
curl?
I'm gonna shave it once this is over.
Barry, we can see your face. Oh my gosh. Barry, your beard's pretty on
I
point.
chose not to shave until quarantine's over.
Okay.
Look at the toilet paper. Yes.
I didn't shave either, look. Okay, guys, so that's how you do the whiteboard, all right? So we've seen how to share our comp screen. I was telling my group as well, I'm very comfortable comping a property live, and some of you are as well. If you're uncomfortable doing that in front of your seller, then you'd simply just comp the property, and you could either save the search or you could screenshot it, right? And just have it so that you could go back to it. I personally like doing it in front of them, because if there's one that's, sold for $60,000 more, and I can show them pictures right there on the spot and debunk why their house isn't worth as much as they think, right?
Oh, and doing that in front of a live person might be one of those things that you can practice with a practice buddy.
So if you guys really want to knock this out of the park on your practice, now that you guys are actually kind of feeling it out today, you'll pick a house and you'll both pick the same house. Pick a track home. Like, you guys can comp my house, okay? So pick the same house, and then you guys will each go do the listing presentation on each other on the same house. And I
Good
just say the same house because you'll pull the comps, or you'll see, wow, Steve, I live in Nevada Trails, but you pulled comps for Aliante. That's crazy. Steve wouldn't do that, but you guys get the point. All right. So we talked about, you might do that. That wouldn't be good. All right. So we've talked about the whiteboard. We've talked about how to share our screen with comps. We've talked about, let's talk about, I think it was Kathy that asked, so you have everything in one big PDF. So the reason that I have everything in one big PDF is because it's often, most of the time, unless our sellers are out of state, we actually go meet our clients at their property. And so instead of going to transaction desk and picking each form and printing it, I needed an easier system. So we just literally downloaded the whole thing. It's all pre-filled in. And then anytime a new contract comes out, we just go update our template inside of transaction desk and we export the whole PDF again. Now, when I have a listing appointment, a list just goes print, and then I'm off and running. That's how I like to do it. So I'm going to show you guys how I would go over a contract with a seller.
Okay, Kathy's looking a little confused right now.
Okay.
I guess I just want to clarify that when you downloaded all as one document, are the fields all still there for them to sign or for you to enter information into?
No. So when I go physically get a listing contract signed, there's a lot of things that are already filled in, and you'll see, because this is exactly what I take on a listing appointment. So I have to fill in their name, I have to fill in the address. The reason I personally don't fill everything in and then print is because, like I said, I don't like dealing with the drama of filling it all in and then printing the right documents and forgetting a form. Anybody else, like, I'll forget the lead-based paint and it just sucks. I don't want to go back out there. So I don't fill in the specific information on the client in case I don't get the listing. Now I haven't wasted a package, right? So I'll just bring that package back and we recycle. Obviously, if the client lives in Zimbabwe, I'm just going to DocuSign it or AuthentiSign it to them. Let me show you. Maybe that'll help answer your question.
Okay.
So we're a touchy-feely team, guys. I grew up with 3 carbon copies, press hard, right? Like, we had to type the forms. You didn't, like, on a typewriter. Guys, on a typewriter, we had to type our contracts.
What's a typewriter?
What? I know. I don't even look that old, but I am. All right, let me share my screen real quick. Listing package, share. All right, so this is what it looks like. I don't know why ours right now, it starts with the RDG, but it does for some reason. I would never get that signed first, okay? But when Alyssa, go ahead, Candy.
In the division class, CE class, what every licensee should know, which I recommend for everybody to take, and I figured I would take it. The instructor in that class taught that the residential disclosure guide should be the first item to be signed because it gives information about the duties owed, which is a disclosure.
Well, in my humble opinion, if I look at this, and I am definitely not Jan Hawley and I am not a broker, it says that I have received a copy of the disclosure guide, not that I've read it. I don't know. So when I have people sign this, it's a 28-page disclosure, right? I say, hey, look, I know you haven't read the whole thing and you're not signing that you've read it. You're not even signing that you understand it, but you are signing that I gave you a copy of it.
Yep.
So I still don't, personally, I don't have them sign it before the duties owed. Maybe Candy, maybe Alyssa heard that in the broker bit and she moved it up.
It may very well be because the residential disclosure guide should be signed at the same time as the duties owed. It was just which one gets signed first. And in that class, which is at the division, so I kind of took that as the residential disclosure guide should be given first before anything else.
Well, I'll tell you guys what I always say when I teach, talk to your broker. What? Okay. So this is what I go over, Kathy. If I've got somebody who, you know, I do like to go over paperwork before I send it to people because I never want people to say, oh, you didn't explain anything to me, or I didn't know what I was signing. So I would literally say, okay, Mr. Seller, so what this is this is what the paperwork looks like. Obviously, it's going to have your name filled in. We haven't even established the price yet. So when we do establish the price, what I'll do is send you the contract with everything filled in. But let's go over the crux of the paperwork, and then if you have questions, we can dig in. And they say, okay, great. So this is the duties owed by Nevada real estate licensee. These are the duties that I owe to you. I have to be honest and fair. I have to keep your best interests ahead of mine. I can't disclose any personal information for up to 12 months unless you take me to court, in which case I'm going to spill the beans. What state are you from? Are you from a state where we can represent both sides? I have no idea. Great. Well, in the state of Nevada, you can represent both sides. Do you have any questions on this? No, I don't. Great. Go ahead. Sign here, date time. Oh my gosh. How lucky are you, Mr. Seller? Not only do you get one agent, but for the same price, you're going to get a bunch. Look at all these amazing people helping to represent the sale of your property. Any questions on that? Great, sign here. Right, and then I'm going to talk about the exclusive right to sell, the ER agreement. This is the old one. I got to update it now. But I would go over this. I would say, obviously, we're going to fill in a couple things, Mr. Seller. What's included? What's excluded? Do you have a solar system? Sign here. I've already covered, Candy, I know you don't like that, but that's how I do it. I've already covered the
What,
net
the
at this point.
Take,
What'd you say,
take 3.5. Nice.
You know why? Because it's a bigger picture business. Anyways, I would go over this. See this, Kathy? This is all the contracts. This is everything. By the way, just found out that now inside of Transaction Desk, you can send the SRPD and the seller can actually pick yes, no, NA. They can fill it in now. They did that inside of Transaction Desk. Did you guys know that?
Nice.
I didn't know that. I just found that out because I taught a class and they're like, you can do it in Transaction Desk, it's new. And I was like, okay, which is awesome for us, right? So I would go over all my paperwork here. Easy peasy. Whoops.
So, Julie, I guess my question is, I go over all the paperwork with them too, but when I want them to, I always have them sign it digitally, unless they're way too old. And I even had an 89-year-old sign it digitally. And so I pull them up or I email them one at a time. Can you email them all together once they're filled out and have them sign and initial everything all in one document in Transaction Desk?
So in Transaction Desk?
Yeah, after everything's
that's what,
filled in and all the signature places are in there, without sending them one document at a time.
yeah, you can send every single document in Transaction Desk at one time if you want. You just have to select it. So I just have this out. I just have mine in a PDF, you guys, because literally I just want to be able to print it with one click and go take a listing. And then if I get the listing, we scan everything in, we create our Transaction Desk folder and our command folder and, right? If someone is out of state or in this Zoom situation, I still want to go over the agreement with people, just like we are right, like we just did. And then I would say, Kathy, I'm going to go ahead and send this to you for digital signatures. So we've gone over everything, but if you have any questions as you click through, I need you to call me, okay? I just don't want people to sign something they haven't seen.
I have, oh, go ahead, Candy.
No, go ahead, Christopher, first. And
I was
then
just,
I will
so I was
address
at I think we were at the division or I was with Neil Schwartz at a CE class, and he said that he highly recommended if you do it electronically, you send the RDG and the duties owed in a separate email before you send the contract. Because of all of those, if you look at the timeline, those are all signed at the same time. You can't prove that you really took time to explain the duties owed if it's dated a second later as page 44.
Yeah, there is no defense for it.
Right.
I can confirm Neil Schwartz has said that exact same thing, Christopher.
Yeah, he has. And that is his reason for it, is because in court, a judge will look at you if everything is signed at the same time and say, so when did you explain this? And you're going to have to absolutely be able to provide like positive proof of when you explained it to them. So that's why he's saying that. So if you send them separately and send them half an hour before everything else, or even 15 minutes before everything else, you've had that opportunity. It's defendable. What I was going to say is Ashley wrote a chat, and Ashley, I apologize in the group, but I am going to tweak because you said you made a big stink out of the Transaction Desk class at the division. Division has nothing to do with Transaction Desk. You meant at the association. Just clarifying that because I get that all the time. Division association, two different entities. Okay, go ahead, Julie.
So so I don't know where we were, and with the SRPD and going over the documents, right?
Yes.
So obviously, I think that you could have a pretty good defense if I said, well, Your Honor, I recorded my 45-minute listing presentation where I went over the documents with the seller before I then sent them via AuthentiSign. Would you like a copy of my recording?
That is defendable, and I would recommend you take it into court with you while you ask him about that.
You better believe it, sister. Also,
absolutely, that makes it defendable as long as you record all of your things.
You could also, I just taught a class on contracts, seller contracts, actually on Friday, and that was part of the conversation. Right now, it might make sense to send your package early, right, so that the seller can review it before you have your meeting. Now, I personally am not going to give away all my goodies before I have a consultation with the seller.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go over that stuff after they've told me that they're comfortable and confident I can get the job done, right? I'm not talking about comp, just so you guys know the order of my presentation. I don't know if you care. I've jumped all over the place. but we set the appointment, we send the pre-listing package, we show up on time to the appointment, we bring a lockbox and a listing package like we're gonna list that sucker, right? We walk in and the first thing we say is, Mr. Seller, did you get the package I sent you in the mail? And he says, yeah, I did. I said, great. Do you have any questions? Are you ready to go ahead and get the paperwork done? If he has questions, then I'm gonna answer him. If he says, no, I'm ready to get the paperwork started, I'm not gonna do a 45-minute listing presentation, guys. I'll talk myself right out of a deal, right? So great. If he doesn't have any questions, then we can get started. If he says, yeah, how much do you charge? I'll say, oh my goodness, that's one of my favorite questions, as much as I can get. And then he'll laugh. And then I'll say, seriously, putting price and commission aside, do you feel comfortable and confident I can get the job done? Well, I don't know. Let me see what you have to do. Cool. Let's go talk. Let's go sit down at the table and let me show you what I can do. Are you familiar with the 4 things that it takes to get a home sold in this market? No, I'm not. Perfect. Or they'll say, man, it sounds like you are on this other guy's team I just met with. Like everybody does the Kate method now. So I go through my Kate method, and before I get into, I go CAPE exposure. Let me talk to you about what I do to expose properties. I go over my marketing plan. And then I say, Mr. Seller, based on everything that I've shared with you, do you feel comfortable and confident that I can get the job done? Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. Great. So you're ready to go ahead and get started today? Yeah, I'm ready to get started today. I got to get 2 yeses. I still haven't talked about comps or commission, right? Why haven't I done that? This eye's been bothering me all day. It's very simple, because they're going to price shop me. It does not matter what I think the house is worth or how much I charge if they don't think I can get the job done. You guys get that, right? So after I tell them, oh my gosh, this is all I've ever done. I went to real estate school when I was 17, 2nd generation realtor, blah, 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 all the stuff they don't care about. This is